Before ASAP Yams introduced the signature ASAP sound and style to the hip-hop world and groomed ASAP Rocky and ASAP Ferg into superstars, for his impressive hip-hop knowledge and sense of humor won over thousands of loyal fans on Twitter and on Tumblr.
I bought a pet camel and some a helicopter propeller and shit.
Before ASAP Yams, or Yamborghini, would become a celebrity producer with his distinctive tattoos and birthmark turning heads wherever he went. Before his abuse of prescription drugs and alcohol would inspire his clothing line Burnout Boys and send him into rehab in 2014. ASAP Yams was born Steven Rodriguez and grew up in Harlem. He started selling crack as young as 12. He was a burnout at school, but when it came to hip hop, the kid was a walking encyclopedia, and by the time he was 17 was regarded as a hip hop guru. The genius watched his ASAP mob take off while struggling with his own substance abuse problems. It wasn't until several brushes with death that he decided it was time for a change, and he tried to clean up his act, a change that sadly didn't last. He passed away abruptly with drugs in his system on January 18th, 2015. What's going on, guys? My name is Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of ASAP Yams, here for you on Before They Were Dead. Now, you guys have been requesting this video for a very long time. Please feel free to leave your condolences, you know where. Steven Rodriguez was born on November 13, 1988 in Harlem, New York to a Puerto Rican father and a Dominican mother by the name of Tatiana, a loving mother who would eventually take the stage in honor of her son.
In Steven's honor, please remember to always try and prosper.
The young boy, despite the large birthmark on his face, always seemed to have a positive attitude and enjoyed watching Pokemon, playing video games, and dancing his little heart out. He developed a fascination with hip-hop culture, and by the time he was 11, Rodriguez would spend hours on the internet finding old and obscure tracks on Napster. Yeah, remember those days? Probably some of you don't. You know, you're probably that young. Anyway, I do. Then at the ripe age of 12, he started selling crack cocaine, spending his cash on expensive clothing, but don't just take my word for it.
Well, I was copping icebergs when I was 12. Yo, put that Coogee on layaway real quick. I'll come back next week, cop that one time.
His teen years, they were turbulent, and Rodriguez, well, he was a bit of a burnout in high school, cutting classes on the regular, and he went to 4 different schools before deciding to drop out altogether. A decision Mama Yams, well, she wasn't too happy about. She kicked him out of the house, and young Steven slept in Highbridge Park until he was welcomed back into the family home. Throughout his teens, Steven became something of a local legend. Aspiring musicians looked up to him as a kind of mystical hip-hop figure who had immense knowledge, charisma, and an incredible taste in music. He landed an internship for himself at Harlem's Diplomats Records at the age of just 16, and later he went on to intern at Asylum Records. Steven built for himself his reputation as he shook hands with artists and helped producers sell their tracks to rappers. Then when he was 17, he founded the ASAP Mob along with friends ASAP Bari and ASAP Ills. He was so confident in his label, the guy went and tattooed ASAP on his arm, which by the way, it stands for Always Strive and Prosper. And a money sign for the S. Now you know what they're striving for if you kind of figured it out, you know. Let's move on. When Steven was just 20, he was introduced to a young aspiring rapper who would go on to become ASAP Rocky. Yeah, Rocky was looking for someone who could serve as, you know, like a mentor. Kinda like that, but with less robots and monkeys and more Benjamins, Bentleys, and bitches. For real. Together the two worked in the studio daily, creating a sound and style that was fresh and unique. While fine-tuning Rocky's sound, Yams had started to build a buzz through his Tumblr page. It was back in 2010 before his Tumblr page was retired. It served as a kind of retro hip-hop archive highlighting 90s artists and pages out of old magazines, part history lesson and part comedy. Nothing like it had ever been done, and the page began to draw a whole lot of attention. Soon Yams became a music curator that rap heads and internet geeks they truly respected. When it came time for ASAP Rocky's debut 2 years later, Yams promoted the music on his Tumblr as if he had just discovered him. His followers, assuming there was no affiliation, started supporting him without question, and the genius marketing move, well, it worked wonders. The tracks for Purple Swag and Peso going viral within a few weeks, well, all of a sudden these tracks also were getting played on New York radio stations. When the mixtape Live Long ASAP was released, well, record labels were looking for a piece of the sweet ASAP mob pie. and what a tasty pie it was. CA Records offered ASAP Rocky $3 million for a 2-year contract, and once the ink was dry on that check, the two formed their own label, ASAP Worldwide. The next breakout single, Fucking Problems, made ASAP Rocky a superstar, and his album, Long Live ASAP, went to #1, and it's an album I still listen to on the regular. It's good when you're like jogging or riding your bike, because I got a lot of fucking problems. Truthfully.
Oh yeah, that's right, we hitting 10.
From there, Yams, he started getting comparisons to legendary producers like Irv Gotti and Sean Combs. He was encouraged by Rocky to come out from behind the scenes and make himself more known. His distinctive look definitely made his face a memorable one, and soon Yams, well, he was getting recognized left, right, and center.
Yo, there's too many cameras on me right now, dogs.
But the brilliant man didn't come without his own demons, and he was never shy about sharing them with the world. I mean, his clothing line, it was titled Blackout Boys, and there were tattoos of Xanax pills. He knew his hard partying and addiction, it needed to be addressed. Those were some of his fucking problems.
That's for the 18 to 21, all my little burnouts out there. Keep repping it, Blackout Boys on Twitter.
One night at Coachella almost ended his life when he started choking on his own vomit as he slept. Then he got high on Xanax and cough syrup during a plane ride. He had to be pushed out in a wheelchair when they landed. Urged by his friends to change his ways, Yams finally went to rehab in July of 2014. It seemed Lamborghini had kicked his bad habits. On New Year's, he tweeted, "Good riddance to 2014, my worst year ever," followed by his resolution to become a more reliable friend and stop going hard on drugs. On January 18, 2015, Rocky was hanging out with him and a bunch of friends at their Brooklyn apartment. Then around 3 a.m., ASAP Lou told them something was going wrong. They found Yams and he had vomited face down in his bed. He was unresponsive. He was rushed to Woodhill Medical Center, but it was too late. The medical examination revealed he had died from an overdose of opiates and benzos.
Right now, I would like to dedicate this next song to ASAP Yams, R.I.P.
Immediately, the condolences, they flooded in, and artists like Chamillionaire, Danny Brown, Drake, Action Bronson, and Wiz Khalifa were paying their respects via Twitter. Rocky's next album, At Long Last ASAP, which Yams was executive producer of, well, that debuted at #1. His brief presence in the hip-hop industry left one of the most influential legacies of the past decade. Earlier this year, on the anniversary of his death, his ASAP Mob crew held their first annual Yams Day concert at Terminal 5 in New York, where they intend to pay tribute to their friend and mentor for years to come. As for the rest of the story, well, it lives on in his music and through his friends, because this is before they were dead. My name is Michael McCrudden, and I do all sorts of celebrity bios on here. In the past, we've done many a rapper. We're talking Lil Snoop, L.A. Capone. We've also done the legends like Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E. Be sure to browse around. There is something for everyone. Leave your condolences in the comment section. I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!
Y'all know about that. You heard? I'm in Soul Food, but the prequel though, ain't sequel. It's the prequel, you heard?